Now we can do it.
All right. Welcome to Anything Goes.
Welcome to Anything Goes.
I am Kombat AllStar, and
I'm Random Girl.
And we're going to talk about wrestling, the evolution of wrestling in the 2000s.
In the 2000s until now.
Well, we're still in the 2000s.
Oh,
so.
Well, when you say 2000s, I'm thinking of, like 2000.
In the century of 2000.
After 1999. 2000 till now. That's what I'm thinking.
You know what? Future 2, okay?
Okay.
So basically, we're going to be talking about wrestling and how it's evolved and where it's come from and everything. And it's interesting because, like I was saying...
what were you saying?
Wrestling back in the day was a bunch of territories. There was Stampede Wrestling, NWA, AWA, all those different territories. Mm-hmm. And now Vince ended up buying everything except for WCW. Mm-hmm. They went head to head. WCW went away during the AOL Time Warner merger.
And he bought them.
Yeah, so there hasn't been really any. Just recently, I think. Maybe 2001 was like the end of the Attitude Era, and they had bought everything, and then
the end of it after.
Yeah, and then TNA ended up coming about. Then from there, other wrestling companies. Now we have Ring of Honor. We have
ROW Reality of Wrestling, which is Booker T's show.
Keep talking about.
What's wrong? I like that show.
And then
what's wrong with that?
Nothing. Gosh.
Lucha
Underground, and then freaking TNA. I'm trying to name the big shows first. You want to Booker T's promotion?
I like his show. Okay?
I like his show too.
You gotta name the big shows and the small ones.
Yeah, let's name the big ones first, and then the small ones later.
Anyway.
Gosh. So we'll be talking about that stuff. And it's interesting how it's becoming. Like I was talking on a previously recording of the Anything Goes show.
Don't tell them that. We're supposed to make it seem like it's a perfectly recorded show.
I'm going to be real with the viewers. I'm going to be real with them. We had a whole show recorded and it pooped out on us.
Yeah, it messed up, so we got to do this thing all over again. Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, so I'm trying to kind of recap what we talked about there because it was some good stuff. But we were talking about just NXT. You know how a lot of players from different wrestling organizations are going to NXT. Seems like the hotbed to go.
Oh yeah.
We had Rhino, which is there. I guess he's there to help the younger youth and everything. And he's the ECW original. Mm-hmm. You had a slew of people from Ring of Honor show up. The latest being Kevin Owens. You also had
Kevin Owens is from Ring of Honor.
Yeah, Ring of Honor.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He was Kevin Steen over there, and then just recently. We had Samoa Joe show up, and he's originally from TNA, originally from Ring of Honor, then TNA, and now WWE. Mm-hmm. So NXT is becoming amazing. Triple H is doing a great job with it, and I'm kind of worried. Like I was talking to Random Girl earlier about when Triple H actually takes control of SmackDown and Raw, is it going to be another NXT? Because every company throughout history has its own brand, right? Like its own identity. ECW, hardcore, WCW, something for everybody. TNA, currently just a mess of things. Lucha Underground, you're going to get high flying stuff no matter how big or small these guys are.
A lot of culture too, I think.
Lots of culture, Aztec stuff. It's just really amazing stuff.
Yeah.
So, with that said, NXT has its own identity. Is that identity going to bleed over into Raw and SmackDown when Triple H takes over?
And my theory was, what I said was, I think Triple H is gonna revolutionize like the whole WWE thing. I think he's gonna come in, and he's gonna change Raw. He's gonna change SmackDown. I think he's gonna do everything. I think he's gonna hire a whole new creative team and introduce new ideas and keep each show separate. It hasn't been this way for the last, I think, probably almost 10 years. Everything is just, I don't know, everything's just kind of silly and goofy and feels kind of like little kid-like. But I think Triple H is going to come in there. He's going to change the game. He's going to revolutionize everything.
Well, and that's the thing that I'm kind of worried about.
What are you worried about?
I'm explaining it now.
Oh, so what are we trying to get
to? This is the thing I'm worried about, basically, is like, as great as NXT is, what's going to make NXT special in the future? Because I was explaining to Random Girl before, if one man is in control of 3 companies or 3 brands, those brands aren't going to be distinctive anymore. I mean, right now you got Vince controlling Raw and SmackDown, and they're basically the same show. SmackDown is like Raw Light, Yeah. So it's like, who wants to watch, Raw Light? How many Raw rebounds show up on SmackDown? It's basically the same show, different skin, different lights. So if Triple H goes over to Raw and SmackDown, it's going to be just like NXT. And I was, Random Girl mentioned that, back in the day, SmackDown was different from Raw. And I was like, yeah, because you had Stephanie McMahon was totally in charge of SmackDown, while Vince McMahon was totally in charge of Raw. And then there was a brief period of time during the Attitude Era where SmackDown was actually kicking the butt, like beating Raw every single week when Paul Heyman was creative lead over SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that in itself shows you that, you can have different identities if different people are running them. And I wasn't sure that Triple H is going to do that. Because, I mean, let's face it, who is he going to trust to be in charge of the other shows? Especially since he's getting so much praise now with NXT. He's going to be like, I can run anything now.
No, I don't think he'll be like that. Triple H comes off as a very smart, savvy, sharp businessman as well as a wrestler. So he knows both sides of the game. He knows what it takes to put on a good show, to bring on different personalities, and the business side of things. I think when he actually comes to the point where, he's running Raw, SmackDown, NXT, he's going to hire different people to be in charge of it. He's well connected. You don't know who he'll bring onto the team. Maybe it'll be, what's his name? Stone Cold. I don't know. Anybody.
Stone Cold is not going to be
his wife. They did it before. They can do it again.
But
Triple H let me finish because you were talking for like 5 minutes. Let me say what I got to say.
You've only been on 6 minute thirds.
Yeah, and for those 6 minutes he was talking. I was trying to be quiet and let you go, but now it's my turn. Anyway, gosh. I'm saying to you, my theory is Triple H is going to come. He's going to hire a certain amount. He's going to hire a specific team for Raw, certain amount of people for SmackDown, and he's going to keep it separate.
Yeah, but Raw, SmackDown already have separate. Raw, SmackDown already have separate creative teams.
And they all suck because they're all under Vince McMahon. That's what I'm talking about. Triple H. You need fresh new perspective like Triple H. He's still young.
Yeah, but do you think he's going to bring that? I mean, he's known for having a huge ego. Vince has a huge ego too, but he's always, I guess nowadays he's not so best for business. Back in the day he was, but now he's kind of just doing stuff to amuse himself, is what I've been, hearing. But do you think he'll have that mind to be like, I can't run every show?
I think so. I even heard him in some of his interviews, like even how he lets the wrestlers. He even lets his own wrestlers in NXT, bring apart their own personality to the characters. He doesn't try to control everything. He's kind of chill. So I think he knows. I think he's smart enough to realize, hey, I can't run all 3 shows. I need some fresh perspective. I need some different perspective.
Well, I don't think he's really that chill. I just think he's running it like it was ran when he was, one of the main players back in the day, where they had creative control over their characters or anything. I don't think it's anything about being a control freak, because I think even back then Vince was still a control freak, but it's one of those things where, what he was doing wasn't working, and he was man enough to admit that it wasn't working. So he was gonna basically do what he needed to do to beat the competition, because they were gonna be out of business. You know what I mean? They were getting their butts kicked.
Yeah, that's the only reason why. Exactly. So, whereas Triple H is not doing that. Like, he just seems way different from Vince McMahon, and I think he'll do it a lot differently. Yeah. And I think it'll be because it's been bad for so long, and I think it's time for it to actually be good again. And I think Triple H can do that.
Yeah, I mean, and I know reading different wrestling boards and different people out there who analyze wrestling and stuff. They talk about how Undertaker is he's very close to the McMahons. He's very close to the company.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think, especially like Don Tony and Kevin Castle, they think that he's going to have a corporate job later. And I don't know what kind of a mind he has for creative, but if he has a good creative mind, he'd be a perfect person to maybe take over SmackDown or take over Raw. Like I said, I'm not sure what his creative ability is, but he's been, around long enough. For somebody to do
Undertaker for so long and do it so convincingly, he's like one of the top wrestlers of all time. Like, even his retirement was even all displayed over the news. If he can be that involved in producing, into being a character like Undertaker, I think he can definitely. But I mean, the same thing.
The same thing could be said about Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan can do Hulk Hogan like nobody's business.
Yeah.
But he can't run a company. He can't be. I mean,
he
did that on TNA.
But he thinks he is Hulk Hogan, I think.
But that doesn't matter if he thinks he's Hulk Hogan or not. He like Bret Hart was saying. He said Hulk Hogan knows how to be Hulk Hogan. He knows what works for Hulk Hogan. He can sell all the merch he wants for Hulk Hogan. He knows that character inside and out. But as far as running a company or being head of creative, he sucks.
Well, yeah.
So, I mean, you can't say that for Undertaker. You can't be like, he's been a great Undertaker for so many years.
Well, okay.
He's going to just blow it out the water.
Well, I don't know. Hulk Hogan, to me, he seems very kind of egotistical in his own ways, just about himself. I don't think Undertaker would be that way. I don't know him personally, but it just seems like he'd be a good.
Yeah, he's always not to sound cliche, but doing what's best for business, because I mean, even him like wanting to like give his streak away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when a lot of people, even like Triple H, even went on record saying he doesn't want it to ever end.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so him to be willing to pass it on to someone that's going to help the company. Now, I admit it shouldn't have been Brock Lesnar. I know that was Vince's call.
Mm-hmm.
I think it should have been Bray Wyatt, since he's going to be the new face of fear, and he fought him and won. But it would have been awesome if Bray Wyatt ended the streak and he would have continued that on. But that's a whole nother story for another episode. But yeah, I mean, I think there are definitely some people in play if they're creative enough to take the company to the next level.
Yeah, there's so many people that that could help the show out.
But you don't know. Like, I mean, there's a lot of trainers that I would never. I never thought that Jamie Noble would be good enough to be a trainer, or Hugh Morris would be good enough to be a trainer. But they're excellent trainers. Even Billy Gunn, trainer. Like, how would you ever guess that these mid-card guys are so talented and are so good at what they do that they could actually train others to be fantastic and surpass all those skills that they ever, were able to acquire in their career. So.
Well, yeah, just because they're a certain way on the TV screen doesn't mean they're not talented in real life. Some of these characters were given to them. Like, they're supposed to be a mid-card, even though they have so much to offer.
Yeah, it's people like Daniel Bryan who broke out of that because of the fans. So, who do you think is going to be like? What do you think about the future of wrestling in general?
I think there's going to be there's so many wrestling companies out there. Like, what we're talking about, Lucha Underground, Ring of Honor, all that. Like, it's changing everything. It's just not WWE anymore. All these small companies are like rising up. They're starting to get that momentum. They're starting to get those views. So I don't know. I think it'll change in a very positive light. It's just not going to be WWE anymore.
And I agree. There's a very bright spot in wrestling right now. I'm not sure what it is, but between Lucha Underground killing it and Ring of Honor continue to do what they've been doing and growing talent for WWE, it seems like, and then the rise of NXT, I think it's a really, really good spot for wrestling right now. It's growing. It's good. It's getting that boom again. And that much needed boom with new talent. So it's going to be great. I mean, who do you guys? Okay, so just kind of to wrap the show up, I guess, unless you have something else to say.
No, I got more to say.
Fine, say more.
Another 5 more minutes. What are you gonna say? Because you got a memory of a goldfish.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
I was gonna ask people who their favorite wrestler is and who their favorite wrestling company is and why.
Okay, yeah.
So
what's yours, Kombat?
I have my favorite wrestler of all time is not of all time, but right now is Mil Muertes. My favorite wrestlers, my favorite wrestling company is Lucha Underground. Close second, very close second is NXT. And then my favorite wrestlers, I got my top 5.
Mil Muertes.
Mil Muertes is number 1. I'd have to say Charlotte is number 2. NXT. I would have to say. Who else? Let me see. Those are definitely my top 2. I'm not sure if I have 5.
Well, I know you liked Samoa Joe for a while on TNA.
Yeah, Samoa Joe, but he just went kind of MIA. We know now why. So yeah, I'll put Samoa Joe as a number 3 under Charlotte. And then of course there's the all-time greats who I'm trying to leave out. But there's the Bret Harts, who's been my favorite forever. Shawn Michaels, who's just phenomenal. So I mean, those are probably my top 5. I have to name top 5 wrestlers, and those 3 being the top wrestlers of today. I think in that order: Mil Muertes, Charlotte, Samoa Joe. I love Prince Puma too. I don't like how he's always getting beat up so much. Pentagon Jr. Okay, so Mil Muertes, Charlotte, Pentagon Jr.
Samoa Joe,
and then Samoa Joe, and then I don't have a 5th one.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. Yeah. So what are yours?
Let me see. Well, my 2 favorite female wrestlers would have to be Sasha Banks. She's from NXT, which comes on every Wednesday on WWE Network for how much?
Why are you gonna say female wrestlers?
$9.99.
Just say wrestlers. Just say wrestlers. Period. They're just as good as the men.
What?
They're just as good as the
men.
men.
They are, but I'm just saying I got favorite men wrestlers and I got favorite women wrestlers. That's how I do it.
Charlotte was number 2 in the stack.
That's how I do it.
Oh, you know what?
Because I got different. Okay?
Right.
Okay. So my 2 favorite women wrestlers, Sasha Banks, the boss, and then also Naomi. She's doing her thing. She's got her own soul thing going on. She's been feuding with the Bella Twins. And also she seems like she's been feuding a little bit with Paige because she's trying to get that Divas champion. So Sasha Banks, Naomi she's on Raw right now. Well, anyway, WWE, And Daniel Bryan's pretty cool, even though he keeps getting injured. We don't even know when he's coming back, but I really do like him.
We'll do a check a mail toward the quad.
Anyway, don't be trying to play Daniel Bryan, okay? It's not funny. Daniel Bryan. I don't know, and that's basically it. You know, a lot of the men today are kind of the same, you know, so they don't really impress me. But yeah, so Sasha Banks, Naomi, and Daniel Bryan.
No Johnny Mundo?
Johnny Mundo, he's good. He's really good, but
King Corno? He's my number 5. King Corno.
Who's King Corno?
The guy with the elk head on his head. Lucha Underground.
Yeah, and I enjoy seeing the Mac too. But yeah, those are my top 3 in wrestling today.
Yeah, the Mac is pretty good. Yeah. So what about you guys? Who's your favorite wrestler? What's your favorite company?
Who is your favorite wrestler?
And what do you think about the future of wrestling and just how it's evolved from back in the day being territories, almost repeating itself and being territories again? I mean, there's like 6 or 7 wrestling companies out there right now.
So yeah, they're not territories; they're actual shows now.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's not broken up into different states, and you know, but it's kind of the same deal. If you mix up the indies with everything else, Global Force, TNA, Ring of Honor, WWE, of course, Lucha Underground, AAA Wrestling. There's a lot of. I mean, it's almost the same.
A little bit.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think?
Yeah, who's your favorite wrestler? What's your favorite show? Is there any major changes from the past until now? What changes would you like to see done, or you know, just anything like that?
Yeah. And anything goes, of course, it's going to be shown anytime. There's no really a date or anything. I'm trying to do an opposite of Kombat AllStar show, but no promises. Just whenever we feel like it. So
how? Okay. Okay. How random should we? Nah, never mind.
All right. Well.
All right, guys.
All right. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.